As we were leaving the stadium, there's literally like rows of Mexicans, like a line of Mexicans just going down the whole way. And like every single one of them is just trying to shake your hand and say good luck. The people were just so welcoming and like kind and gracious in their defeat.
Hello, Harvey. It's very nice
Hello.
to check in again.
Yes, yeah, it is good, especially after that win.
Yeah, exactly. Dare I ask? Well, maybe let's just ask how you're feeling with regards to the win.
It's almost like doesn't feel like it was real. Like it was just a bit, the whole occasion was a bit surreal. Like not even just the 90 minutes of football, but the whole build up to the game, like just the culture of Mexico. Even the day before the game, like everyone's in a Mexico shirt, everyone's walking around, the football's on the TVs. Like even there was a group of people handing out free Mexico shirts to dogs. So there was a big Chihuahua meetup, and they literally just took over where we were stood, and all of a sudden there was probably hundreds of Chihuahuas in Mexico shirts. What was going on? But just the city just absolutely breathed football, and it's quite the change from being in America where like some locals didn't even realize games were on. So proper World Cup experience, and everyone who was there and at the games just like absolutely taken back by the whole thing.
So is that your favourite place so far?
In terms of football, yeah, by far in terms of football. But in terms of a city, I did quite enjoy New York.
And how was it after the game? Like, was it, how was the kind of general feel?
Yeah, so like, obviously we were a bit like cautious after the game, thinking, right, okay, like celebrate, but don't like celebrate in front of a Mexican or something, because you don't want to wind anyone up. But as we were leaving the stadium, walking through the concourse and down the stairs, the slope, it wasn't the stairs. There's literally like rows of Mexicans, like a line of Mexicans just going down the whole way. And like every single one of them is just trying to shake your hand and say good luck and stuff. So it's like, it was just this incredible, like weird experience. But like the people were just so welcoming and like kind and gracious in their defeat. And I think like every England fan I've spoken to or heard from just says like, what a country, what a stadium, what brilliant people that just were so gracious and like let us enjoy our moment. And it was brilliant.
That's absolutely inspiring and completely mind-boggling. It's not what you expect at all, is it?
No. I can't imagine the same would happen if it was at Wembley.
No, that's what I was just thinking. There's the reverse of that. It would just be just nothing like that. And what was the stadium like?
The stadium, like, obviously the way it's actually built is incredibly steep and like just so like on the pitch creates such a good atmosphere. But when you really think about it, and like we had an extra hour in the grounds waiting for the delay of kickoff, and you kind of just sat there taking it all in, and you're thinking, right, so Pele's won a World Cup here, like this is where the hand of God was, all of these things. And it's just like it was so taken back by it again, like really like such an incredible atmosphere. And they even played before kickoff, like while everyone's waiting because of the storms, they played Don't Look Back in Anger. And just because it was an English song, the whole stadium was booing and whistling. And like, you couldn't even hear us singing, all the England fans singing Don't Look Back in Anger. And I turned around to one of the Mexicans and behind me and was like, what, like, I thought you guys liked Oasis because like the Oasis played in Mexico. And they were like, yeah, we love Oasis, but it's English. It's brilliant. So I thought, and then when the game actually kicked off, like it's the loudest ground I've ever been in, like without a doubt. And like I like to think I've been in a fair few like proper stadiums. Like I follow Portsmouth home and a fair few away games, and like we get to go to some pretty nasty grounds, as well as like the ones we've been in with England and even at the last Euros. And Thomas, who's with us as well, said the same thing. He's a Newcastle fan, so like lots of us have been to some loud football grounds, but that was just like the whole time non-stop.
Or was it their noise?
It was just constant noise, constant like chants, whistling, booing, like horrible atmosphere for 90 minutes, but incredible people. Like
Really?
Yeah, it was.
What do you mean a horrible atmosphere?
It was just like probably terrifying to play in. Like the type of like, I mean, when Mexico scored, we were coated in beer, like beer literally just thrown at us, not like thrown in the air, just like chucked at us. Which like I found the funny side of, because they were taking like us celebrating and stuff so well.
Right, yeah.
wasn't what like it's not the
Did
end of the
did
world.
every England fan take that as well?
Well, I'm not sure it was like in like the main England section. We were just off to the side and surrounded by a lot more Mexicans than some of the others. So maybe the others didn't really get coated in as much beer because we were surrounded by them. We did. The guys next to us, when Mexico had a penalty, put their raincoat over their heads to prepare for the next throne of beer. Um, so yeah, everyone around us took it pretty well. There's not much you can do about it really when you're surrounded by a load of Mexicans.
So the fans that really mixed in every stadium, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, like we've not had it properly yet because most stadiums have been like predominantly English,
Okay.
and like uh, even if they're not English, a lot of Americans have been wearing England tops and going to games, which like you probably wouldn't see England fans ever doing that, but it seems to be a thing with Americans. But in Mexico, because it's in Mexico and it was Mexico playing, we were obviously completely outnumbered. And there was a lot more like England fans mixed in with Mexicans than any of the other games so far.
And you said last time we spoke, you said that you were worried about getting to the ground because just the traffic was insane in Mexico.
Yeah.
So what was that journey like?
Yeah, I mean, like we were all advised to just go as early as possible. So I think we were in the ground 4 hours before kickoff in the end.
Wow.
Like we got
Because of
there
the
really
delay as
early.
well.
Yeah, because of, including the delay. So we got there really early. There was no trouble with we just got the metro towards the stadium. That was absolutely fine, easy done. And then we were outside the ground for a while. Like there was loads of mariachi bands and these sorts of different Mexican stuff, and people dressed up in all these sorts of costumes. That was quite cool to take in and like have the build up. And then all of a sudden the storm came and it started absolutely chucking it down. So we did have to go into the ground early. They put these warning signs outside the ground saying like seek shelter or whatever it would have translated to
Because
in
of the
English.
lightning.
Because of the lightning and the rain and the wind and stuff. So it was just, they kind of wanted everyone who's there to just get in the ground and then be in the concourse. So we were stood in the concourse for a couple of hours just chatting to some other local England fans that were staying near us.
So you told us last time that you were going to set off really early. You were worried about getting to the ground. So what
Yeah.
was it like on the day?
Yeah, so plenty of England fans set off really early. I mean, we was in the grounds 4 hours before kickoff in the end, including the delay. We got there quite early and like ready to take in all the atmosphere outside the ground with the different bands playing and all these people dressed up in Mexican outfits, and like the home fans were absolutely loving it. And then all of a
So
sudden the
they were all
storm
there as
started.
well, like that early, the home fans.
Yeah, they were there much earlier than England fans anyway.
Really?
Just like they were
Just
so
to have a good
excited for this
time.
moment. Yeah, just to party and celebrate like this occasion. And then yeah, that storm came fairly early, so we ended up going into the grounds really early and just standing in the concourse and a couple of beers in there, speaking to some not locals, some England fans. And just chatting to them about all the games so far, like what they're going to next. And then we got tired of standing up, so we went and just sat in our seats, luckily under cover, so no rain on us, which was good.
So was it a big storm? Because obviously they cancelled it because of the fear of lightning strikes.
Yeah, there was a lot of lightning going on near the stadium, so the concourse, there was no like wall between the concourse and just the outside, so you could properly like see all the rain and the
Oh,
weather.
wow.
But we had experienced it the day before anyway, and it kind of came and went quite quickly the day before, but it was really, really strong, really, really harsh, like thunder and lightning, and probably maybe the closest I've ever been to a lightning strike, with how, you know how you're meant to test it with how quickly you can hear the thunder afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
The day before, we heard and saw a lightning strike at the exact same time when we were in the taxi on the way back. So it was quite extreme
I'd
weather
say that's
conditions.
totally
Yeah.
mad. But then the last heat wave in London, I had exactly the same. It was,
Oh,
I don't
really?
think I've ever had that either, where
Yeah.
it just sounds like it's breaking right over your head.
Yeah, that was it. So then, yeah, when we was in the ground, we just sat down and like took in the atmosphere and spoke to some of the England fans sat around us, spoke to some of the Mexicans in the game, and then sung a few songs as well. So yeah, it was a really good build up.
And have the rest of the England fans have had a good time?
Yeah. It definitely seems like it. After the win, we walked over to some of the other guys we're with, who were sat in like the proper England end, and we were surrounded by England fans then, and everyone was just like absolutely loving it. It was
It
such a
must
good time.
oh, must be
Like,
so what a game as well.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
what was the game like?
Oh, it was crazy, wasn't it? It was like one of the just like the most complete games of football you could ever watch, whether you're a fan of either team or a neutral. It had penalties, it had VAR, it had red cards, it had goals, it had atmosphere, it had like the other team's manager telling Gordon to do one.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a
With the smile.
complete the chaos of the match completely represented the build up from the match and everything everyone talked about, and it was superb and brilliant that we came out on the right side of it in the end.
So do you think obviously there was a lot of griping about FIFA to start with, like before
Mm.
ahead of the tournament. Do you think I mean, and obviously during the tournament, we've also had massive controversies. Do you think has that kind of faded a little bit for you just because of the feel of the tournament, or is it still a very real feeling?
Well, like ultimately during the game, you're not worried about that anymore, and you do kind of forget about it. But I do think there was one moment in the ground where all sets of fans came together to boo the same thing, and that was Infantino being put on the screen.
Right, right.
So people haven't forgotten about it, and people are still seeing what's happening with FIFA, especially with all the stuff which has gone on with the USA team. But it's still completely like agreed with everyone. The Mexicans seem to boo just as loud as the English, and people aren't happy. And unfortunately, that's the state of the World Cup at the moment. But when the game does kick off, you are there to support your team.
Nice. And so we've got Norway on Saturday. So you off to Miami or you're already in Miami?
We're already in Miami. Yeah,
Um,
so we're just a fair bit up, maybe an hour or so up from like the main bit of Miami at the moment, just staying somewhere slightly cheaper. Not close enough to the beach. But yeah, no, so we're all quite excited. When you look at it, it's a nice route to the final, but I think Norway are going to be quite a difficult team to get past, and they have a fair few important players, as we know, of Erling Haaland. So it's interesting to see how we deal with that.
And have you got a few days off then? We've had a few days in between.
Yeah, we've had a few days just chilling and relaxing, and then yeah, we've got 2 days to the game now. So yeah, so it's 5 p.m. for us, which is like an all right time, to be fair. It gives England fans enough time to enjoy the day, have a few drinks, and then get in the ground. And there shouldn't be any problems with extreme weather, other than the fact that it's extremely hot and humid. So
Is
we are
it?
going to have to try and make sure we all stay hydrated.
What temperature is it over there? Because we're struggling over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the exact temperature is right now, but we were looking earlier on, and the next couple of days, the like feels like temperature is meant to be in the 40s. So we're
No.
yeah, we're
Is
not
the
quite looking forward
stadium
to that.
is it an air conditioned stadium?
No, it's an open air stadium. So
That could be
yeah,
different then, because we've had a lot of have we played in any that are open air, or have they all been air conditioned so far?
we've played in open air, but we've played in open air in the rain. So
Oh, yeah.
we've been absolutely fine in terms of climate. Like we've not had anything really, which is too hard to deal with, other than the altitude of Mexico.
Mm.
So we are going to have to deal with the extreme heat. But luckily, the Norwegians aren't used to extreme heat.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't
I
really
was
be
thinking that.
any unfair advantage.
Amazing. Right, it's time for your quick fire, and one of them I'm
Right.
slightly nervous to ask you considering that you've been unwell, but, your best food since we last spoke?
Yeah, to be honest, we've not eaten properly the last few days after the game because everyone's been unwell. So probably just go for a McDonald's. We stopped in a McDonald's in Miami because we just needed to eat and then go to bed, and that was it. So yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry for that. Best goal?
Yeah, I really liked Haaland's one the other day, the second one where he's just kind of taken a touch and absolutely slotted it bottom
Yeah.
corner. Um, and against a goalkeeper like Alisson, that's not an easy thing to do. So yeah, proper striker's finish.
Controversial. Haaland ahead of this game. Best moment so far?
England going 3-1 up, I think. Just because that really like almost that was a great moment. Although scoring 2 goals within like however long it
Yeah, right.
was one of just all of the goals, all of England's goals, and the win, and singing Wonderwall after. Just the
They're
Azteca.
having handshake with all the Mexicans. Amazing.
Yeah.
And biggest clanger?
The current situation with Balogun with the USA. That's a pretty awful situation.
Yeah, pretty mad. Oh, Harvey, it's been an absolute pleasure. Let's hope we're checking in again next week,
Yeah,
Sunday, Monday.
hopefully. Yeah.
Ah! Thank you very much. I hope you guys feel better and have a great time in Mali.
Thanks. Thank you very much.